Welcome back. The wind industry has moved from onshore and into deeper waters and more hostile marine conditions. The Vindeby wind farm, installed in 1991 offshore Denmark, is considered to be the world's first offshore wind farm. Here the water depth was only approximately 4 meters. Thus, a land-based tower was used, put on top of a substructure. This tradition has been continued. Tubular towers has been put on top of various substructure concepts. Even if, from a structural point of view, it should be logical to consider the complete support structure as one unit. The by far most common substructure is the monopile, which is a long tubular structure driven into the seafloor to secure the foundation. The depth limit is related to the dynamic properties of the structure, or the flexibility. With increasing water depth, the flexibility may be too large and other, stiffer structures are needed. The most common of these are the jacket or space frame structures. The depth for which the jacket is preferred over the monopile has been moving to larger depth over the years, partly driven by the very efficient production of monopiles compared to the more labor-intensive production of jackets. As for the monopile, the jackets need to be piled into the seafloor. If the seafloor does not allow for piling, heavy, gravity-based structures sitting upon the seafloor may be considered. Such structures may be built of concrete and ballasted with stones or gravel. When the water depth exceeds 50 to 100 meters, floating substructures should be considered. A lot of floating concepts have been proposed. The two most common solutions are the spar platform and the semi-submersible. A key requirement to the floater is related to the stability of the system. The static and dynamic tilt or platform pitch motion due to the wind thrust on the rotor should be limited. The spar platform relies upon a center of gravity far below the center of buoyancy to have proper stability, while the semi-submersible relies upon the waterplane areas of the column. The waterplane areas should be large and the columns well separated. The choice of substructure depends not only on the wind farm site considered, but also on the fabrication site and the yards for assembly. The semi-submersible has the advantage over the spar that it can be assembled in shallow water, while the manufacturing of the spar is simpler as compared to the semi-submersible. One should be aware of the challenges related to the design and cost of mooring systems and the flexible, frequently called dynamic power cable. The complexity of these components is frequently underestimated. Until the Hywind Demo spar floater with a 2.3 megawatt turbine was successfully installed outside Karmøy in 2009, the wind industry did not consider floating substructures as a realistic option. However, after the success of Hywind Demo, which is still operating, now under the name Unitech Zephyros, the industry has more seriously considered the floating option. The reason for the interest in floating wind turbines is understood by considering this figure. Here, the yearly energy potential from offshore wind turbines are shown for several nations with large ocean areas. The colors indicate the various depth ranges. The shallow areas are well fitted for bottom-fixed turbines. Also, the transitional areas are in most cases fitted for bottom-fixed turbines. However, in general, the largest portion of the areas are classified as deep waters, even if one might question the economic feasibility of locations with water depth down to 1,000 meters. It is observed that next to Australia, Norway has the largest offshore wind potential, with an estimated potential amounting to 100 times what is presently produced by the Norwegian hydropower system. As discussed before, such estimates rely upon several assumptions, but the common conclusion is that a large-scale development of offshore wind energy will need both bottom-fixed and floating substructures.